So good morning everyone. I'm so happy to be here this morning with you and sharing our meditation practice together. As you may have heard me say before, when we meditate together, it amplifies everything. So it's like it's enough just to do a meditation on your own to change the vibration around you and to have that ripple effect. But when we do it together, it amplifies it so much more. So I'm really honoured to do this work as always. I'm so glad you're here. Please find your most comfiest position, sitting up nice and tall or laying down. And just begin to arrive in your body today, this morning. Closing down the eyes or keeping a soft gaze if that feels better, and just noticing waves of feelings, emotions, sensations, anything physical or non-physical. And begin to tap into the energetic realm that we're starting to see more of. One of the things that's coming to light is the fact that we are energetic beings, that we experience physical based on our energy and how we perceive the world. And this can change. We can change this at any time, and this is coming through for us now, probably more clearer than it's been in the past. And one of the things that I really wanted to talk to you about today is being able to work with that energy and being able to shift your perspective to maybe a higher one. And what I mean by higher one is just that we can observe it from, imagine that elevator going up, and now you get to see more maybe than you did before, because you were at a lower frequency maybe looking down, so you could only see so much. Okay, as you rise up in that elevator, now we get to see a little bit more. Okay, and the more we stay on the elevator, meaning the more we stay in just the witness rather than trying to physically change and do things from this lower perspective, the more we can stay going up, the more we get to see, the more we get to experience, the more we get to realize insights and inspirations that will just come to you naturally. The thing that's trying to drop off or fall off in these times is the doingness, having to do something about it. So have you noticed that with time anyway, things get done just naturally? So let's take the grieving process, for example. You don't actually have to do anything in order to overcome it. We so often we're in the mindset of, how do I overcome this? What have I got to do to get out of this? Whether it's a situation, say something that you want to get rid of, something you see as a problem. So your perception is that it's a problem. Someone else's perception might be that it's not a problem. So it depends on you and how you interpret the situation and how you react to it. Okay, so when we're in that situation of doing, how do I do this? We're creating this feeling then of stuckness, which is only based on our perception. And that becomes our reality because that's our perception, that there's something to do to get out of this. When if we take that grieving process, for example, we don't actually do anything to get out of grieving. Time just happens. We observe and we come out the other end, and we end up, not as in so much pain without necessarily having to do anything. Okay, time naturally heals. Well, higher than that, we just heal ourselves. Okay, it's not actually time. Time is an illusion. So yeah, that's what's trying to happen right now. So this happens with our patterns. So if you're having a perception where you're feeling stuck or you're wanting to do something about it, I want to invite you to just watch it, not do anything about it. okay? Because when we watch it, we start to see it, right? And when we start to see it, you're already raising your frequency because you're seeing something that you haven't seen before. So this is a key point. If you're seeing something that you haven't seen before, then you're already raising your vibration. You've raised your awareness. And you don't have to try and change it. That's when the mind comes in and goes, right, I know this is happening. How do I get rid of it? How do I change it? And this is where you can stop the evolution process by trying to do something, okay? Imagine you just watch it and just see it for a while. I remember in my first stages of this, a couple of years ago, of seeing my patterns, I would really end up beating myself up about them, saying, wow, I'm really, like, I was starting to judge myself, egotistical or whatever the word is, because I started to see how much I was acting out from my ego, my patterns, okay? We all have an ego or patterns, whatever you want to call it, and it's very useful, okay? But when you start seeing these patterns, in my case, I was judging them. And I was actually hindering my process because I was now adding an attachment to my pattern. I was adding another pattern to my pattern instead of just witnessing. But I did witness the whole time as well as judge. And in time, that pattern just fell away without me having to do anything, with me judging it. Okay, so I put an extra on it. But I didn't have to do that. I could just witness and observe and know everything was fine. Everything was perfect. Because now I was seeing and witnessing me coming from that place. And in time, it just naturally fell away. And I began to work from a different place. Communicate from a different place. It took some time. And it took a lot of me witnessing that and judging it on top. But I know if I hadn't judged it, it wouldn't have taken as long, just from experience now. So all this guilt and all this shame we put on over all of this stuff, it acts as a blanket so that we can stay in the pattern. So if you're feeling guilt or shame, it's trying to protect you from seeing something. Okay, and we hold on to that guilt like we were a 5-year-old child that still needed to make up that story, okay, that kept us safe. So if something happened when you were a child, which it does to all of us, we all have childhood traumas, we learn from that place and we stay in that place emotionally. And that's why guilt and shame show up when we're adults. Okay, guilt and shame are purposeful for maybe a few moments to make us learn from the situation, but that's it. We don't need to carry guilt and shame throughout our entire lives. If we're feeling guilt, if we're feeling shame, we know that it's an invitation to look inside, because that guilt and shame does not serve us anymore. The guilt and shame is actually hindering us because it's keeping us there. So we're looking at this guilt and shame, right? Rather than looking what's under the blanket of guilt and shame, which is always a story that we've told ourselves and we're still living in if we're feeling guilt and shame, right? I know some of you will be able to relate to this. And if you don't, that's fine as well. It's okay. We'll all resonate at different frequencies, and I want you to bring your own awareness into this and discern what is resonating and what isn't, and just leave and let fall away what doesn't, okay? So, allow yourself to feel guilt and shame, but be willing to take a peek at what's underneath it. What story have you been telling yourself since maybe you were 5 years old that actually served you and protected you? Okay, let me give you an example. Let's say your mum left you when you were 5 or 6, okay? So you have this story of abandonment, and your mum left, and your little body probably couldn't take that, right? It was such a big emotion to feel that you have to come up with a reason of why it happened. Maybe it was your fault. Okay, so you say, she left because I'm worthless. She left because I'm not good enough. She left because of me, right? That's when we know that's not true now, right? We know that it's not because of us, but we still stay stuck in that story. And that guilt just keeps us there. That guilt is there to show us there's something to look at and heal. Okay? So knowing this, isn't it so freeing that we can just witness? We don't have to do anything. We will grow anyway if we just watch. If we just watch that pattern unravel itself, show us what it wants to show us. Not have the ego come in and try and sort everything out and figure everything out. Let this be bigger than your mind can comprehend. It doesn't have to make sense to the mind. So these feelings that come and go, right? That come and go. Can we witness and observe? That's where the magic happens, guys. Witnessing and observing your feelings. And in fact, I'm starting to feel, when I feel something scary and heavy and big, I start to get a little bit excited because I know something is trying to emerge in me and leave. It always is that. It's that for you as well. If something scary is happening, darkness, what it means is now your capacity to see darkness has grown, because before you weren't at a frequency that you could see it, right? So if things are coming to light now that have never surfaced before or you shoved down before, get excited, because now you're at a capacity where you can actually tap into and feel it. Now you are at a higher vibration, even though it feels scary and there's low vibration feelings around it. You have to observe those to be able to come out the other end and actually feel lighter and freer, and just know that your capacity has grown. So this is amazing. And this transformation happens inside of you without you having to do a single thing. And it really is a transformation. You start seeing more. You start feeling into your body more. You start to know yourself more. You start to know that you're not in control of this. There is a higher intelligence, that higher intelligence that beats your heart, that allows you to breathe, that digests your food, that allows you to move, that allows you to see. We don't ever think about these things, but these things are amazing, and they're a higher intelligence that we can tap into. You think all these things happen and that's it? There's so much more that you can't see that is happening. There is so much insight coming through from the ether, from the outside, from the space around you. Wonder where your thoughts come from. Remember, you can pick and choose those thoughts. It's only what we're believing and reacting to that have an impact on us. So if I'm in some kind of pain, I look at my thoughts and feelings and what am I thinking and believing. Because I can have many thoughts. It's only when I attach to a thought or believe a thought that I start suffering. And there's no need. I just have to watch. You just have to watch. So what a revelation that I can share with you guys, because I do the work. So with me, I want you to take a deep breath in, feel your lungs, feel your body, the intelligence of your body, and that you don't have to do a single thing from your mind. And even if you don't get that right now, that's okay. Just feel into it. See how your body reacts to it. We're going to sit today for the next 10 minutes or so in just silence and seeing the insight, seeing what comes up without having to do anything or react. Sit up tall, feel your breath. Feel the expansiveness feels in your body. Does anything feel different? Is there anything happening in your body? Feel into it. Choose to see. That's all you have to do. Choose to see. Slowly start to come back into your body, keeping your eyes closed and just breathing deeply here. How does it feel to be in your body today? Can you know that it's okay to see the darkness? You don't always have to be in that high vibration of love and light. Part of it is the darkness, and being able to see it and hold love and compassion for yourselves in the darkness. So much easier to hold that space of love and compassion for feelings of happiness and joy. What about if we just started to hold that same level of awareness and peace and joy for the darkness? Because we know that something is leaving the body. If we're seeing it, it has to leave. It's only when we hold on to it that it can stay and cause us suffering. Okay? So honored to do this work with you. I'm so happy you are here. You're making a huge difference by being here and doing this work. So thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I hope you all have the most fantastic day. Love and light. Namaste. Bye guys.